Hey, to all spooks out there. Welcome back to another episode of Spine Chilling Chats, where every Wednesday we dig up the darkest corners of true crime, history, folklore, and the supernatural. I'm Ange.
And I'm Manda. And I only did the one serial killer duo. I was going to do both. And then I was like, no.
You did your nails?
I did my nails.
I have your nails upstairs for you.
Yay. So I originally just did the tips and then put black lines in them. And I was like, oh, that's cute. It's pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Some little girl goes, basketballs? I said, yep. Went home, took them off, and just painted them all orange and put sparkles on them.
Aw, kids always crushing us.
You know, little shitheads.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is about California.
Yes, we're still in California.
The Speed Freak Killers. So, it is a serial killer duo named Loren Herzog, Loren, Loren, it's male, and Wesley Shermantine. They are convicted of 4 murders, 3 together, and is suspected in as many as 72 people, like deaths, 72 people in and around San Joaquin County, California.
He's got a mullet.
Yeah. I like that. And then this is the other guy.
They look like an unlikely duo.
Right? Like he just looks like, and he's all like,
mullet, bald dude.
I'm ready to smoke some Marlboro Reds and down a Budweiser. Okay. The murders and the suspected murders were based on a letter that Wesley wrote to a reporter in 2012. They received their Speed Freak name by habitual use of methamphetamine. Not unfortunately. I say unfortunately in a, what do you call it? Like in a, not a good way.
In an ironic way?
In an ironic way. Unfortunately, Herzog committed suicide in 2012. So this motherfucker, pretty much, even though he's dead and he should...
Or sarcastically,
whatever. He should have to serve out his sentence until his death penalty, but he took it upon himself to kill himself. So, I mean...
It's like the trash taking it out itself.
In a way, but at the same time...
He didn't get the just...
He didn't get... Yeah. Like, you chose your way out.
Yeah.
You didn't have a sentence among your peers.
Yeah.
You know? Shermantine is still on death row in San Quentin State, California. So, his name is Loren Joseph Herzog, born December 8, 1965, and Wesley Wes Howard Shermantine Jr., born February 24th, 1966. Both grew up and born in Linden, California, and lived on the same street. They were friends with one another. There weren't many other children in their neighborhood to play with, so they became friends. They did not have any other friends throughout high school and into adulthood, which, I mean, you saw them.
There's probably a reason.
Right. Wesley's father was a successful local contractor and real estate developer who frequently spoiled Wesley with gifts and money throughout his life. Loren and Wesley were avid hunters and fishermen who spent most of their childhood exploring the county that they lived in. They graduated from Linden High School in 1984 and took pleasure in bullying other people, drinking alcohol, and using drugs, especially methamphetamine, in their apartment nearby in Stockton, California. During the time that they lived together and they were doing all these drugs, Loren had an affair with a young woman named Kim Vanderheiden.
Hmm?
Linden was a small town with fewer than 2,000 people, 95 miles east of San Francisco. The county knew and were well aware of the duo's reputation and their drug use and all of the things they did. They were also regulars at the Linden Inn bar. Oh, Linden Inn. Linden Inn bar, which was owned by Kim's father. Kim's 25-year-old sister, Sydney Vanderheiden of Clements, California, went missing after leaving the Linden Inn with Loren. So this motherfucker is having an affair with Kim, but then leaves the bar with Kim's sister.
And then that sister disappears.
And then the sister disappears. Well, she left with both the guys. And that was on November 14th, 1998. There was an investigation into her disappearance, which continued into 1999. Wesley was the prime suspect. And then in mid-January 1999, Wesley's car was repossessed and searched by the San Joaquin Sheriff's Department, which he was a prime suspect, and then his car was repossessed. So what perfect way to actually do a search without really having a warrant? You know what I mean? I'm sure they still ended up getting a warrant, but like it was perfect because there's no way he could clean it out or stop him before all that had the
opportunity.
Yeah, to destroy anything. Cindy's blood was discovered in his car, and DNA results were being confirmed. The sheriff's department was focusing on Loren. Wesley's friend and suspected accomplice, who was extensively questioned. Loren divulged incriminating details such as describing how Wesley had shot a hunter they ran into while on vacation in northern Utah in 1994. So this motherfucker is his accomplice, and he fucking gets busted with Wesley, so he's gonna fucking snitch Wesley out and say, oh, well, he shot a hunter in 1994.
Well, I mean,
to get the heat off of him, I'd be like, you son of a, we grew up together. We were best friends all through elementary and high school. We lived together. We did drugs together. And this is what you do to me?
Yeah. I mean, would you expect anything else?
I would expect him to at least have it back a little bit.
I don't know. I wouldn't trust anybody who.
But then again, they are on drugs.
Yeah.
So every man for themselves.
That's how I would taken it.
The Utah police did confirm that a hunter had been killed. His murder was still classified as unsolved. So Loren also said that Wesley was responsible for killing Henry Howell, who was 41, and he was shot and found parked off the road on Highway 88 in Alpine County near Hope Valley, with his teeth and head bashed in. Loren said that Wesley passed Howell parked on the highway, and Wesley stopped, grabbed Howell's shotgun, killed him, and stole what little money he had.
There's no reason. People will just give you their money
without killing them.
Yeah.
So I was okay. So I was thinking about this yesterday or today, and I always hear about these people like on the radio, podcasts. They're always talking about and we've covered some of them. They make you dig your own grave.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm not doing all this labor for you to kill me anyway. You're going to kill me? Just kill me now without digging the grave. And you dig the fucking grave. Or just leave me on top and get busted. Your choice. But I'm not doing any manual labor when you're just going to kill me in the end regardless.
That's
I'm going to sit there like this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Shoot me now. Because you're going to shoot me in the hole. You shoot me on top of the dirt. I don't give a fuck. So.
Yeah. Who wants to die after digging a 6-foot grave? No.
And you want to kill me? I'm not covering up your murder. You're killing me regardless. So fucking kill me and you dig the hole, motherfucker. But yeah, like you said, people will just give you money. People will do things for you if you don't kill them. If you want me to dig a hole, I'll dig a hole, but you can't kill me. I doubt that's going to happen. So I'll do what you want as long as you keep me alive. There's things, there are things that people will do to
survive.
And if you want me to dig 6 holes, I'll fucking dig them as long as you tell me I get to live.
Yeah, but who's to
Who's
say?
to say they will?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. But yeah. I just thought about that the other day. I was driving and I was like, you know what? Some of these podcast people are right. I'm not fucking digging you a hole. I'm not doing any manual labor for you. You're gonna kill me in the end. So I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna be worn out, and then you're gonna kill me. I'm just gonna go out like this. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Dig your own goddamn hole. Loren gave specific details about how Wesley killed Robin Armtrout, who was 24, whose nude body was found stabbed nearly a dozen times on the east bank of Potter Creek near Linden. They were both arrested by the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department and charged with several counts of murder on March 17, 1999. So not long after Kim's
sister disappeared.
Yeah, which is good. The total number of mutual victims of the duo remains unknown. Both were convicted in the murders of at least 4 people and are believed to be responsible for the deaths of at least 19 people. The duo targeted random victims and killed for fun and sport.
I mean, that's the smart way to do it. If you're going to do it, is to be random.
And not have an MO.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get busted.
Yeah. You just have to be totally random so they can't figure out your pattern.
Right. And then be like, oh, yeah, I was sitting next to Angela and she was doing something weird with her hands. And I noticed that when those people were found, their hands had some tied to them or something. And it's like, Angela the killer?
Maybe.
Are you?
I could be. My mama told me I could be anything I want to be.
So I became a serial killer.
She didn't give any specifics.
They would go out hunting, shooting individuals to death, and in some cases, kidnapping women, raping them, and stabbing them to death. Afterward, they would in the Calaveras County, they would dispose of their dead bodies in mine shafts, isolated hillsides, and beneath trailer parks.
Mine shafts is kind of smart.
Yeah,
if it's
a lot of them are like condemned.
Yeah,
they won't let you go down in there. So
yeah, if it's one that's not in use.
Prior to Wesley's arrest, he frequently told relatives and acquaintances that he had made people disappear around the outskirts of Stockton.
Who just goes around blabbing that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how are you going to sit there and be like, I brag that I made people disappear? That means you killed people. Everybody knows that's code word for kill.
Yeah.
So
that's not very bright.
No, not at all. But then again, he's a druggie.
Yeah. With a mullet.
No, not this one.
Oh, that's the bald one?
Bald one.
Okay.
So yeah, he obviously was making up for something he was short of, and that was
hair
and looks. He's not very good looking.
And personality.
In a confrontation with woman he tried to rape in the trailer park, Wesley allegedly told her that he had pushed her head to the ground. And he said, quote, "Listen to the heartbeats of people I've buried here. Listen to the heartbeats of families I've buried here." Yeah, he's a piece of work. He stated there would have been up to 72 victims in a statement he sent to the local Sacramento news station in March of 2012. Yet, he said he would withhold the information unless Leonard Padilla gave him $33,000 that he demanded. And he said, I quote, "I really want to believe in Leonard, but I have these doubts he'll come through, which is a shame because I've been holding the best for last." And then he wrote the following as a list of the known victims and several other missing people who have been mentioned as possible victims. So he wrote all this down, even, I guess, without getting the $33,000. So 16-year-old Ruth Ann Lehman disappeared from Modesto, California in 1982. She became acquaintances to the 2 men who were both in their 30s at the time on August 19th. 3 blocks from her house at Teresa Street and Carver Road, where Lehman decided to meet the men later that evening. She left her Clayton Avenue apartment that day about 8:45 p.m. She said she was traveling on foot to Sam's Food City to get a soda. In reality, Ruth did show up at the shop, but she quickly left and was never seen again. The two men were supposed to meet Ruth the night she disappeared. They were questioned by authorities, but both of them denied any involvement in her case. They both are thought to be suspects in Ruth's case. Ruth and a female acquaintance traveled to the Calaveras County frog jump with Loren before she vanished. According to Loren, he and Wesley were driving a truck on September 1st, 1984, along Highway 88 in Hope Valley, California, several miles south of Lake Tahoe and west of the Nevada border in a remote location. When they passed the vehicle parked on the side of the road, the vehicle's driver, Henry Lee Howell, 41, from Santa Clara, California, had pulled to the side of the road because he was intoxicated. I mean, don't drink and drive, but you know what? At least he realized he was intoxicated and pulled over and made the right choice after making the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And then he got killed for it. So he tried to do the right thing and got killed for it. Wesley stopped his truck and got out and allegedly shot Howell with a shotgun. 2 months after the murder of Howell on November 27th, 1984, they both were out driving around together again on Roberts Island, California, located just southwest of Stockton. They passed a parked car, a 1982 Pontiac. Loren told detectives that they turned around, approached the car, and grabbed their shotguns as they exited the truck. Loren said that Wesley shot and killed the driver, Howard Michael King III, who was 35 years old, while he sat behind the wheel, and then dragged the passenger, Paul Raymond Cavanaugh, who was 31, out of the passenger door and shot him at point blank range. The tire tracks found at the scene were eventually revealed to match Wesley's vehicle, which was the red pickup truck that witnesses later claimed to have seen in the vicinity of Roberts Island before King and Cavanaugh were killed. Kimberly Ann Billy, 19, disappeared from Stockton, California on December 11, 1984. 16-year-old Joanne Hobson disappeared from Stockton on August 29, 1985. And then in February 2012, acting on Wesley's directions, authorities found over 300 human bones and some personal items in an abandoned well in Linden, California.
Dang.
Over 300. Billy's bones were in the well as those of Hobson.
How do you even sort through it?
How do you know? Forensics scientists, I'm sure, but how do you know who belongs to what and how many bones? Yeah.
Did you ever watch Bones?
I did.
I love that show.
Me too.
It was such a good show.
I wish they didn't end it.
Yeah,
but
me too.
There were some twists and turns.
I know.
I was like, he's
because I think that happened at one
and then
point.
Sweets died.
Yeah, that's because he got I don't know if he was producing a show or something.
Yeah, he got his own. He got something
bigger.
But still, come on, you can't kill Sweets.
I know, it was sad.
But I didn't like Sweets as a girlfriend.
No, she was weird.
She was weird. Yeah. Weird. Oh, bench. On September 8th, 1985, Loren and Wesley met Roberta Ray Robin Jones Armtrout.
Holy shit.
Roberta Ray Jones Armtrout, but they called her Robin. Yeah. Roberta Ray Jones Armtrout. She was 24 at a park in Stockton. They were supposed to go out drinking together, but instead they headed to a farm close to Linden, not far from where both men lived. Wesley got carried away at some point and started raping and beating Armtrout after stabbing her more than a dozen times. So he raped and beat her after stabbing her. Piece of shit. He dumped her naked body on the bank of Potter Creek. Investigators noticed that most of the stab wounds were in the back and chest regions when a dove hunter subsequently discovered her naked body. Her mother last saw Armtrout getting into a red pickup truck with the two men.
How sad.
Speaking of Potter, are you excited for the new Potter? I am, but I'm not.
I'm keeping my
mind open.
My opinions to myself until afterwards.
Okay. I don't know what to think about it, but I'm keeping my mind open. I'm going to give it a fair shot.
Yeah, we'll see.
Chevelle Yvonne Chevy Wheeler, 16, skipped school on Wednesday, October 16th, 1985, and was last seen getting into a red pickup truck outside of Franklin High School in Stockton. Why the fuck are these 30-year-old men picking up a 16-year-old? Why is she going with a 30-something-year-old man?
How many
men?
I mean, that's several there. Like, all red pickup truck, last seen getting into it. Like, why aren't they finding the red pickup truck and linking it to them?
Right.
That seems pretty obvious.
2 men in their 30s in the same area in a red pickup truck. There can't be that many people with a red pickup truck that are 2 men in their 30s.
Yeah. Like,
she was last seen getting to a red pickup truck outside Franklin High School in Stockton. She told her friend that she was going with a male acquaintance named Wes to Valley Springs, California. Again, it's in 85, but why are you going with fucking 30-some-year-old man? She asked her friend to tell her father about what she had done if she did not return by the end of the school day because she appeared hesitant about making the trip.
then why would you go?
The friend did inform her father when Chevy did not show up, and her father then called the police. Wesley was instantly identified by the authorities, so the authorities already knew
it was him.
Yes. So why haven't they done anything up to this point? Because he was the prime suspect, and he was familiar with the Wheeler family. Wesley was found to be the owner of a red pickup truck. Blood and hair samples taken from a cabin Wesley owned in San Andreas matched Wheeler. Susan Robin, and now this is a year later. Susan Robin Bender, 15, left her family's home in Modesto on April 25th, 1986 to stay with friends in Carmel, California. She was last observed making a phone call at the former Greyhound bus depot on 10th Street and G Street in Modesto. Susan was entering a full-size olive green 1977 Ford van outside of the station and has never been seen again. Granted, different car, but the dude is still on the fucking loose a year later. Why?
Did he get a new car?
I don't know. It says authorities investigated Loren and Wesley as possible suspects in the 2012, but were unable to find a link. Foul play is suspected. On June 3rd, 1986, 31-year-old Sylvia Lourdes Stanley disappeared from Modesto, California. She was released from the Stanislaus County Women's Facility on Oakdale Road that day, and they called her family and said she would get a ride home. She was last seen getting into a blue or green truck. Her case remains unsolved. Blue or green truck, not van, but still similar. Gail Marie Marks, 18, accompanied her mother to the San Joaquin County Mental Health Department in Stockton, California on April 18, 1988. She walked alone to the local DMV at 710 North American Street at the corner of North American Street and Park Street to get an identification card. She made it to the DMV because a few days later her card was mailed to her address. After leaving the DMV, Marks contacted her mother and left a message. She had never been heard from again. The duo were investigated in relation to her case in 2012. 47-year-old Philip Cabo Lloyd Martin was a transient who was last seen in North Stockton, California on September 30th, 1993. On that day, he forgot to pick up his daughters from school, and no one has seen or heard from him since. Martin's daughter told the authorities that her father had worked with Wesley and that as a young girl, she had chosen him from a lineup of pictures. So, again, identified. His daughter said that she believed Martin, Wesley, and Loren used drugs together. Martin's case remains unsolved. Tracy Diane Melton, 32, disappeared from Stockton, California on May 6, 1998. A bone fragment located in Linden, California in 2003 was identified as hers in April of 2011, but her family was not notified until January of 2012. Evidence pointed to the duo as suspects. Vander Heiden, who was killed by the pair, vanished a few months after Melton, but detectives had never ruled out the pair in Melton's case. Cindy Vander Heiden, 25, disappeared from Clements, California on November 14, 1998. And then in 1999, the duo were charged together with her murder as well as other deaths. Vander Heiden's skull was found in a ravine in San Andreas, California in February of 2012. Here's a sketch. Doesn't he kind of look like a Legolas? Like Legolas? How do you say it?
Legolas?
Legolas.
No.
In a way.
No.
With the hair slicked back and the little curlies.
No.
Oh, I think so. He looks like Beavis and Butthead there.
Yeah, he does.
But he is not attractive. In this picture, he looks like he could be attractive. But in his other picture,
it kind of makes him look like he's got like acne scars or something.
Maybe he does.
Or it's probably meth.
Probably.
Meth little scabs.
In August of 2012, Wesley wrote a letter to the Stockton Record after Loren committed suicide in January of 2012, in which he pointed out that Loren bore a resemblance to the composite of the person who kidnapped that Hayward girl. Because this was another one that was unsolved. Commenting on the likeness he had to the sketch to being Garek's or the Hayward girl kidnapper. Witness Katrina Rodriguez commented, I quote, I thought then and I think now he could be the kidnapper. I think there are features that look very much like the man. It seems like a strong lead. At Wesley's direction, law enforcement began excavating an abandoned well in rural Linden, California in February of 2012, where Loren and Wesley disposed of their victims. Thousands of bone fragments belonging to 5 different individuals were recovered from the well, some of which were believed to potentially belong to Garrett. However, DNA profiling completed later that year excluded Garrett as a possibility. The bones believed to have been hers were determined to be those of 19-year-old Kimberly Billy, who had disappeared in 1984. In January of 2013, more excavations of the abandoned wells in the area were completed, but yielded no other remains. So, in February of 2010, while Wesley waited on death row, his sister Barbara received letters from him identifying the locations of victims in an abandoned well on Flood Road near Linden, California. She turned them over to the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department. They followed up on the lead, but in an interview with the property owner, the owner stated that the wells in question were sealed before the victims disappeared. So no further action was taken. More came about in February 2012 based on bounty hunter Padilla's promise to pay Shermantine $30,000 for information. A map drawn by Wesley and additional information given again led to authorities to the same Linden, California well site that he had mentioned in 2010. More than 1,000 human bone fragments were recovered. The bones were tested by the California Department of Justice for DNA profiling. In March of 2012, the FBI's evidence recovery team was asked to assist with the overall investigation, in part because of how the excavation of the Linden well was handled. The identity of the remains recovered in the well was announced to the public on March 30th, 2012. They were those of 2 Stockton, California teens missing since the mid-1980s, Kimberly and Billy, 19, and Joanna Hobson, 16. The remains of the additional victims were an unidentified fetus were found in the well.
Oh.
2 separate burial sites in Calaveras County, California were investigated in February of 2012 based on a letter that Wesley wrote to Padilla that detailed possible locations of victims. Wesley indicated sites near property formerly owned by Wesley's parents. Bodies from these 2 sites were recovered, an unidentified body and Vander Heiden. No additional remains were discovered. In September of 2012, the burial sites, Wesley was briefly released from death row into police custody in September of 2012 to lead authorities to 4 additional abandoned wells, where he stated more victim remains would be found, all near the town of Linden. And this was done because Padilla had paid Shermantine an additional $28,000. So this motherfucker is on death row. He's in prison and you're getting paid. What the fuck are you doing with this money? He ain't got any family that really probably wants anything to do with him. He's a convicted felon, killer, drug addict. Like,
He wants to buy ramen at commissary.
in early of January 2013, the FBI began excavating a well site, which they hoped would yield more victims. Wesley declined to speak further into the authorities. So on February 22nd, 2013, the FBI announced that it had ended the search for the victims based on Wesley's information. 2 sites he had indicated had turned up nothing, and other directions from him were misguided. Wesley also claimed to know the locations in the Cow Mountain Recreation Area of bodies of victims killed by other death row inmates. So now he's snitching on others. Snitches get stitches. Just saying. Lake County sheriffs were skeptical that any bodies could be successfully recovered in the large park, so no searches were conducted. Since 2012, several victims' families and elected officials have alleged that the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office interfered with and deliberately hampered the continued search for additional possible victims of the speed freak killers. In 2010, Wesley wrote a letter to the California State Senator Kathleen Galgiani, revealing the locations of the remains of the additional victims. In 2012, Kathleen sponsored the use of taxpayer funds to search for additional victims of the pair and sought to simplify protocol granting incarcerated persons like Wesley permission to participate in the search excursions. Kathleen turned the letter over to law enforcement and later alleged that missing persons records related to the Speed Freak Killers case had been deleted, hampering the further investigation. In 2014, a mother of a missing woman filed a suit against the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office for mishandling the remains found in the Linden well. In 2015, a retired FBI agent corroborated her claims, allegedly that the SJCSO deliberately used a backhoe to dig up remains, mangling them to prevent identification so that the absence of certain files would not be discovered. But even if you mangle the remains, you still have DNA.
Yeah, you're still going to be able to find out who it is.
Exactly.
I mean, if you have record of them somewhere.
Right. So in 2018, a sheriff-elect of San Joaquin County announced that the Speed Freak Killers case would be reopened. All right. And here comes the convictions. In 2001, a jury found Shermantine guilty of 4 murders. Those of Vanderheiden, the robbery murder of drifters Howard King, 35, and Paul Raymond Cavanaugh, 31, whose bodies were found shot to death in a car off a remote road in Roberts Island on November 27, 1984. And 16-year-old Chevelle Chevy Wheeler, who disappeared in 1985 from Franklin High School in Stockton. After telling her friend that she was leaving school to go to Wesley's family's cabin in San Andreas. During his trial, numerous witnesses testified that they had been brutalized by Wesley. He was accused of severely raping or sodomizing 5 different women, including a babysitter who claimed she was attacked when she went to get money he owed her. Wesley's sister disclosed that she had also been sexually assaulted by the 2. One woman claimed that after rear-ending her car, he held her hostage with a knife. When she pulled over to exchange insurance information, he held her hostage with a knife. She leaped out of his moving vehicle and made it to safety. Wesley's ex-wife also spoke of how he had abused her severely for years, even while she was pregnant, and held their children in her lap. Wesley was sentenced to death and is on death row at San Joaquin State Prison. Loren was charged with 5 counts of murder in 1999. Those of Vanderheiden, Howell, Cavanaugh, Armtrout, and King. In his 2001 trial, a jury found him guilty in 3 murder counts: Vanderheiden, Cavanaugh, and King. The lesser charge of accessory to murder in the Howell count. and acquitted him on the armed trial. He was given a 78-year sentence. So he was not given a death penalty, but he's the one that committed suicide. An appeals court overturned all of Loren's convictions in August of 2004, ruling that 3 of Loren's 4 confessions were coerced. In the case of the fourth, that of Van der Heijden, a retrial was ordered. This retrial never took place. Rather, a plea bargain was reached, and Loren pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and furnishing amphetamine in the Van der Heijden case, and to be an accessory to murder in the Kavanaugh, King, and Howell cases.
Manslaughter?
So you get acquitted of the other 3, you get manslaughter, which is nothing like murder as far as sentence-wise. And yeah, you still kill yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can keep that if you want to make a voodoo doll.
Thanks. Might. Just every once in a while, just give it a little. To help you out.
Just a little tickle?
A little tickle?
A little tickle?
I'm not going to put needles in it. I don't want that. Yeah. So his sentence was reduced to 14 years.
Really, I'd just be happy with you just tucking it in and letting it get a full 8 hours sleep. Can you do that for me?
I can do that. Just close your little eyes, tuck it in.
Nice and cozy.
A little pat on the back, make you fall asleep. So Loren's sentence was reduced to 14 years with credit for 6 already served. With credit off his sentence for good behavior, Loren served 11 years in prison. He was in a position to be paroled by 2010. Opposition to the inevitability of Loren's parole was extremely vocal, especially from victims' families. No California county wanted to take him for parole and led the California Department of Corrections to parole him to a trailer stationed outside the front gate of the High Desert State Prison in Susanville, California, in Lassen County in September of 2010. So it was still on parole outside of a prison. At least you got your freedom.
Kinda.
Loren committed suicide in January of 2012, hanging himself inside his trailer. He did so shortly after bounty hunter Leonard Padilla informed Loren that Wesley was planning to disclose the location of a well and 2 other locations where the duo buried their victims. Previously, none of their victims' bodies had been found, but both men had maintained that the other did the killing in all cases and apathetically denied any culpability.
Of course. They're both really shitty friends.
Yeah, like they're both snitching on each other and they don't have each other's backs.
No.
Like if you killed somebody, I would be like, where's the shovel? And we know how to get away with. Well,
no,
we'll probably still get caught. We don't really know how to get away.
Oh, look how much I'm shedding.
Right.
It's because I just dyed my hair.
So that is the Speed Freak Killers. Their span of November 27th, 1984 to November 18th, 1998 was confirmed. That was the span of their crimes. Victims are 4 to 19, maybe 20. They were apprehended March 17th, 1999. First degree murder. Wesley Howard Shermantine Jr. is still alive, and Loren Joseph Herzog died January 16th, 2012. He was 46 years old.
I wonder if he really killed himself or if somebody in prison killed him. Because that happens.
Yeah, but he was outside the prison. He was in a trailer outside of the prison. So like he was still...
Yeah.
He probably still felt like he was in prison, and then he found out that his shithead friend was going to tattle on him and tell him where all the bodies are. So he was like, fuck this, I'm getting out early. But I guess if it were me, I would have took my chances. I would have been like, prove it. you may have my DNA, but I could just be an accomplice. I just got acquitted of 3 murders and got manslaughter on the 4th one.
Yeah.
So you tell me where it looks like I committed these murders when really only thing left in 2012 were bones, not necessarily their person DNA.
Yeah.
So I would have took my chances. I've been like, well, it was all him. Look, you already convicted him of these murders and he was found guilty. I wasn't. I had good behavior. I served my, whatever. I got parole.
I have a mullet.
Business in the front, party in the back. So I know how to live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Yep. Pieces of shit. But it is what it is. One's already dead and he got what he deserved, and the other one's on death row, which, like I said several times before, you can agree and we can agree to disagree. I don't think they need to be on death row for years and years and years and years.
Well, California is not executing anybody anymore.
Well, now, but back then they probably were. So, like, now look.
Yeah, so now they're
now he just gets to live out his life when his victims didn't get to live their life. I feel like
if you're going to have death row, you need to
exhaust your appeals. As soon as that last appeal is done and you're still found guilty, give it a week. Off with them.
Off with their heads.
Off with their heads. So,
yeah,
that's all I got.
Cool.
California speed freak killers because they were high on meth, not because they spent in their car.
And that was our last California episode. So we're going to be moving on to Colorado next week.
California, Colorado, Connecticut,
Delaware,
Florida,
Georgia,
Hawaii,
Idaho,
Illinois,
Indiana. That's it.
Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan,
Minnesota. No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We got some of it. We got like 20 out of 50.
Thanks, Animaniacs.
Hey. Don't listen to our... We wander sometimes, and it's fine.
All right. It's all right.
It's fine. We're not normal. You guys should know that by now. Right?
But we're cute. So if you have any stories you would like us to cover, or if you've had any glitches in the Matrix,
any
Bigfoot sightings, we'd like to know how big his foot is. Just send those in to our email at spinechillingchatspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can send them in at our website, which is www.spine-chillingchatspodcast.com. On there, you can also hit the link to see past episodes. It'll take you to our Spotify playlist. There's also a link to our merch store where you can get cool shirts like this.
I'm still dressed from work because, I have a big girl job.
Yeah.
I mean, she does too, but I have to dress professional, and it sucks sometimes because I'm not a dress person and I'm wearing a fucking dress. This is what this job has done to me.
But he's cute.
And I have my cute little space buns.
Yeah.
The kids love them. So
check out our merch. We've got tons of shit on there.
Everything.
Aliens, Bigfoot, crime scene chalk outlines, ghosts,
booze and blooms.
Yeah, everything. And anything is on there. So check it out, buy some stuff, help support us. We also have our bios on there, pictures. I
think that's it.
I think that's it for the website.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any podcast platform. And
if you are listening to us, you can also view us on YouTube if you'd like to see us in video form.
How can you not want to see this?
If you do watch the videos, I add a lot of extra content in there. Like I'll add pictures, little side notes, any corrections. A lot of times we just talk off our ass, because
we know, but we don't know 100%. So we're like, yeah, we're just going to go with it.
Yeah.
Sure. So, they drove off a cliff. Why not?
So
they're dead. So what does it matter how they died?
I'll put the corrections in there. So it's always good to watch the video. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. We love hearing from you guys. It makes us feel like
we matter.
Yeah.
We really matter.
And I need that little pat on the back sometimes to get through the day. So please let us know that you're listening. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Give us suggestions,
Ideas. And we're only going in alphabetical order for the states because that's just easier for us.
Yeah.
But if you have one that you want to submit, that you want us to cover, or you have a story you want us to submit about a state or anything really, we'll cover it. It doesn't have to be in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
We'll just cover it if you find something interesting.
Yeah, because there's only 12 months in a year and
there's
52
175 states.
There is not. Do you know?
Oh gosh.
My sister, bless her heart.
That's country for fuck you.
She in high school, she's 6 years older than me. So when she was in high school, I was still just a little kid.
Okay, I have to tell you a story after this. Go ahead.
But we were talking about states, and she said something about, well, isn't Australia the 50th state instead of Alaska?
Right. And it's a country.
Yeah.
Not a state.
Yeah.
And if anything, Puerto Rico is technically the 51st state because it's part of America, but it's not. My story is, as you guys all know, 9/11 just happened. We're recording on the 12th. So you guys will see this
next week, a week
or two. Isn't yours next week? So
oh yeah,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So anyway, we were recording this. So this is where the story stems from. So the teacher that I work with, she was talking about 9/11, and she's like, oh yeah, 9/11, blah, 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 happened 2001. Today's 2025. How long was that, to get them to do math? And then she was like, oh, it's 24 years. And she turns around and she looks at the kids and she says, I was a freshman in high school. Okay. Cool. I was a freshman in college.
Oh.
I know. I was so aged.
I was in 8th grade.
I just was like, cool.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
She didn't do it intentionally, you know what I mean? Like it was just talking, and she was just telling, but it just hit me and it made me feel really fucking old. I'm like, I was a freshman in college. She was a freshman in high school. Old age sucks sometimes when you get reminded in ways that you didn't want to get reminded.
It's better than the alternative, though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep.
So anyway, that was my funny story.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you come back. And most of all, we hope you keep it spooky. Bye, guys.
Bye.